activist, artist. She's just everything. And I want us to take some time and listen to what she is saying. So here we go.
My thing, what I hope to do all the time, is to be so completely myself, which that's what I hope I am. To be so much myself that my audiences and even people who meet me are confronted. They're confronted with what I am, inside and out, as honest as I can be.
That's right.
And this way they have to see things about themselves immediately.
I'll play that one more time.
My thing, what I hope to do all the time, is to be so completely myself, which that's what I hope I am. To be so much myself that my audiences and even people who meet me are confronted. They're confronted with what I am, inside and out, as honest as I can be. And this way they have to see things about themselves immediately.
Okay. So, our goal should be to be completely who we are, who God is calling us to be. Everyone has a story, and everyone shouldn't be ashamed of their story, because our story heals other people. And it walks us into the new narrative. So we want to be completely and confident in the new version that is waiting for us, becoming who God has created us to be. So when we meet people, they can see themselves and see the things that they need to take care of. Okay, so we want to be completely who God is calling us to be, completely ourselves, and we want to come out of hiding. We want to come out of a place of hiding through the hurt, through the trauma, through the pain. And how good does it feel just to be completely myself, own my story, so my story can help somebody else? And that's what Nina Simone's talking about. She's talking about to be completely who she is, and not care about what anybody else thinks, says, and pleasing to herself and pleasing to God, and not be a people pleaser. So, which takes us into the next slide is, I didn't know that I needed healing. I didn't know I needed healing. Now, going through, like Zalex talked about earlier, trauma from our childhood experiences, growing up as a teenager, I have a vase of water here, clear water, right? And this is how we come into the world, come into the world pure, so to speak. But as we're going through life hits us with this pain and this trauma, these circumstances. And as I was growing up, I came from a great family, but that doesn't seclude me from life hitting me. So as a teenager, I was raped by someone I knew at 15.
Tell it.
I blamed myself because I wasn't supposed to have this person in my house, right? And when I told certain individuals this happened to me, nobody believed me because I was so bad growing up. So I had to deal with that pain on my own. I had to deal with that pain through friendships, the people that are around me. Also, having to deal with breakups, cheating.
Talk about it.
So that's some more dye that's going into this water, right? Having to deal with a failed marriage at 22.
Come on, make it plain.
Being pressured into getting married because I was pregnant. I didn't want to get married, first of all, so that's another color, right? But a failed marriage. And in the midst of that, last year, I was a person that was about to take my life.
Come on, tell the truth.
Because I was engaged.
Tell it.
Prayed to be married. God, what about me? Everybody else getting married. What about me? I'm doing all this stuff. And I prayed to God, you gave me something and you took it away. So I woke up one morning. Actually, I went to sleep crying after my fiance said mail him his ring, right? Ex-fiance. Mail him his ring. Anyway, went to sleep, crying. This is days crying. This one particular night, thought I was just gonna die. Woke up the next morning, still crying. You know how you go to sleep crying and you got all those tears and feeling all groggy. So I woke up crying, dry tears, and then in my spirit said, I'm gonna do it today. After I said I was going to do it today, all peace came over me, in my spirit, around me. I'm going to tell you about this peace thing in a minute. But I felt a sense of peace when I said I'm going to do it today. The tears stopped. I walked into my bathroom, looked in the mirror, and said, Whitney, are you ready? I mean, I felt as if everything was lifted because I made the decision that this was going to be the last day, the last morning. I'm done with all this hurt. I'm done with all this pain, this embarrassment that everybody knew I was engaged. On top of all the hurt and pain that wasn't addressed, it just came full circle. But I said, I'm going to do it today. So I got dressed, feeling good, I'm like, wow, I'm going to do it today. So this pain is gone. It already left me. I'm great. So my son had a game that day. My son, I have a 17-year-old son. So I'm driving up to Connecticut to see him play. I said, I'm going to see my son play for the last time, say my goodbyes. He's not going to know. As I'm driving up, I called the suicide hotline. That suicide hotline is real, right? I called the suicide hotline, and I'm crying, telling the young lady my story and where I'm at. And nothing, she said, do you have a child? I said, yes, he's 17 years old. He's going to be good. Great support system. I got family. They good. He's going to be great. His father's around, whatever the case is. She said, 70% of kids who commit suicide is because their parents committed suicide.
That's right. Make it plain.
Whatever else she said before that and after that went out my ears. I wasn't even paying attention at that point. I still said I was going to do it today. So I went to see him play, kissed him, whatever. And as I was driving to the Hudson River in Terrytown, I was texting all my girlfriends saying, I love you, whatever. And they was like, oh, I love you too. But this text was different. Then one texted me back like, what's going on? And then the 4 was texting me back like, this is not Whitney. And then Priscilla kept calling me. My other friends kept calling me, and I didn't answer the phone. As I got to the Hudson River, I stood there for about an hour, and I stood at the water like this. I'm not a swimmer, and I just felt this sense of peace. Like, I'm going to do it. Phone rings. My son calls. Ma, let's go to the beach. He doesn't like the beach. He doesn't like water. I love water. I love the beach. Ma, let's go to the beach. Let's go to the beach. I said, no, I don't want to go to the beach. No, Ma, I really want to go to the beach. I said, no, I'm not going. I'll see you later. Hung up. It was at that point where the lady from the suicide hotline came back with that 70%. That's the reason why I didn't jump. But I thought that was the reason why. That's one of the reasons why. But God didn't allow me to jump.
You better preach.
Okay? And let me tell you about this sense of peace. The devil, I don't know who was a believer in here. I don't know if you even believe in the devil. It's a spirit. Just believe in people who got bad spirits, right? That's the devil. All right? So the devil can give us a false sense of peace. And I didn't know that until that point of me trying to commit this suicide thing. Because I had the sense of peace, and I know that's how God speaks to me, is that I'm peace about the situation. And I thought it was, in a way, God. And being a minister, being in the ministry, giving my life to Christ at 10 years old, still having these battles. But I want to say that the devil can give you a sense false of peace. It is real, because I felt it that morning.
Come on.
But thank God that we serve a God who's bigger than our problems, bigger than our issues, and the suicide hotline, it saved my life.
That's right.
It saved my life. And I didn't know I needed healing until that point. Because all this mess in here, from my childhood, from the rape, from fake friends, from bad relationships, and in this last relationship being the worst breakup I had, I didn't know I had healing until that point. So I had to confront my healing, because my healing was confronting me. My hurt, was confronting me. So the thing is, we don't know we need healing until some other trauma happens. Because it digs up all this stuff that we have not confronted, that we haven't worked through. So most of us don't know if we need healing. But I didn't know I needed healing until that point. Now, what is healing, right? What is healing? Now, healing is one of those things, right? That's a part of everybody's life, but we all conceptualize it differently. It looks differently on everyone, and it manifests differently through everyone. So I want you to take a minute in the notes section, based off of your definition, what is healing? I'll give you all 1 minute. I'm a teacher, so this is, the teacher thing going on. Now, as you're writing, I'll talk while you're writing. We know that healing implies to some form of positive change, right? And we're often confused about what healing entails and exactly how to achieve that healing. But based off of your life experiences, what is healing? And I'm gonna cold call, that's what we do. Teachers, we calling somebody they don't know. And we're calling on them to make sure everybody's working. Okay, well, anyone like to volunteer what they have? Yes, can you say your name?
My name is
Monique.
Monique. To me, I said, you said, what was healing?
Yeah, what's your
I said,
definition of healing?
true forgiveness and
Mm-hmm.
letting go of your past.
Mhm.
Really letting go.
Talk about how to do that. Yes, thank you.
I think healing is self-love. Self-love is revolutionary. It pushes all that stuff, all that junk inside of you to the surface so you can really deal with it. When you start loving on yourself, and not cosmetically, not the lashes and the weave and all that stuff. It's
Right.
real self-love, honoring who you are in this
Mhm.
physical body now.
I love it. Yes,
Forgiving yourself.
forgiving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Yes.
I think healing is my testimony.
Ooh, you gonna, girl.
Yes. Healing, she said healing is my testimony.
That is for real.
Okay.
Come on.
Healing is to have peace with yourself and with others.
Peace with yourself and with others. Yes.
I think it's a fresh start, positive growth.
Yes.
Okay. Positive growth in God. Thank you for all that. And one more?
Healing to me is a presence of comfort.
Presence of comfort. That's excellent. And just to add on is that healing, I actually have this great definition from this, I follow her, Till Swan. She's an author and she's a transformational speaker. She said healing is to experience the opposite. Ooh, I said, dang on it. And I actually have, and I have it in your PowerPoint. I'm going to read it. It said, at the most fundamental level, everything is energy. Energy is simply potential energy until different patterns arise within that energy. These patterns are what dictates whether energy ultimately becomes a toothbrush or an emotion or a tree. Patterns are like the blueprint of your physical existence because everything is a pattern. All forms of illness are also specific patterns, and to heal something is to change that pattern. Therefore, the first layer to understand about healing is that to heal is to change the pattern. So basically experiencing the opposite and changing patterns. Think about that. Think about the habits that we have, the patterns that we have. Can alter our moving forward, can alter our healing, right? So to heal something is to change that pattern. Therefore, the first layer to understand about healing is that to heal, change the pattern, So it's to experience the opposite. Therefore, we have to be mindful of the patterns that we have in our life and that we are adapting to. So for example, if I'm feeling devalued or demeaned, I have to feel valued, right? If I'm feeling a sense of loneliness, which I shouldn't, because we're never alone, because you have yourself and you got God. But if I'm experiencing a pattern of a sense of loneliness, then I need to feel what? What do you think that is? If I'm experiencing loneliness, how do I wholeness or being around people who love me, right? So I need to experience the opposite. If I feel stagnant, then I need to do what? I need to move, right? So we need to be able to experience the opposite. That's why I love her definition of healing. And like I said, healing looks different on everyone, but if we learn how to change our patterns, and when we're feeling a certain way, you know, instead of being feeling devalued, then I have to make myself feel valued, right? So Beyonce, I just fell in love with Beyonce. You wanna? Yes.
Ask you a question.
Sure.
So if it's the opposite, what's the opposite of disease?
Okay, so the opposite of disease will to be free of illness, you know, to be free of sickness. And thank you for that. So we want to make sure, we want to try to experience the opposite, but we have to dig in with ourselves and with God. But we're going to talk about more of this as we go into the presentation more. So the next slide, just go with me. Like I said, Beyonce, yes. I fell in love with Beyonce. I was not a Beyonce fan. But after watching that Homecoming, but not just her movement, but what she was saying throughout it and who she presented, Nina Simone and but she said, I'm not trying to be who I once was.
Come on.
Listen to that. I'm not trying to be who I once was. Transformation, right? Healing. I'm trying to enter a new dimension. I'm not going back to that person I used to be. I'm not going back to who hurt me. I am going to change and I'm going to transform and I'm going to be something different. We should all strive to be something to be better than our past selves. Dude, can you imagine what's really waiting for you? That person that's ready to evolve, that's just sitting there waiting for you to get ready to enter into that realm. So when she said that, I'm not trying to be who I once was. I ain't either. I'm not trying to go back there, even though the trials, the circumstances, the situations, those past hurts are going to try to take me there. I'm going to make sure I'm healed from those because I don't want to revisit. I'm only going to revisit it if it's going to help somebody else, if it's going to help my healing process. Because think about it. Sometimes we'll stay in our stories, the hurt stuff. We'll stay there. And we'll tell it, but it's not doing nothing but keeping us there. I'm not going to tell that story till I confront the pain. And then when I tell that story, because like Nina Simone said in the beginning, I am going to be so completely myself. But in that, I'm not going to be who I once was, because when I tell my story, now I'm going to tell my story so I can help my other sister, so I can understand what she's going through. I'm not going to tell my story and just keep me down. So we got to be mindful of that. So she said, I'm not trying to be who I once was. And in that, we need to kill and destroy these things here. Because if we bury it, what can we do if we bury it? We still have access to it. Pick it right on up. You know? So being that quote spoke to me is because I ain't trying to be who I once was either. So I'm going to make sure I confront this hurt before this hurt confront me. And if these trials and tribulations or whatever I've been dealing with from my childhood experiences, I'm going to make sure I freaking kill it. So I don't have to bury it so it doesn't keep me in a place of complacency. So that's why I love that quote, you know. And so now I'm a Beyonce fan. I think she put me in a beehive. Oh, God. So now I ask the question to you. Do you want to be healed?
Yes.
And the reason why I ask that, and we all say yes, right? But let's really think about it.
Think about it.
Do I really want to be healed? Now, let me tell you this story real quick in the Bible. There was a man in Jerusalem. There's a pool in Jerusalem called Bethesda, right? And this pool, the sick, the people with disease, lame, blind, will come around this pool in the hopes of being healed, right? So an angel will come down and stir up the waters. So we know that story, right? Stirring up the water. So when the angel stirred up the water, everyone would jump in. I'm jumping in first or whatever, because I want to be healed. Then we have this man who was paralyzed for 38 years.
Yes.
But he was sitting on the side. Jesus comes up to him and says, do you want to be made well? And he said, yeah, I want to be made well, but I don't have anybody to pick me up or, put me in the pool. So that's why I asked this question, do you want to be healed? Although he couldn't walk, he still could speak. Help me, my brother, my sister. Women back then, but help me. He could have used his voice to participate in his healing. And many of us will be sick for so long, right? And I'm not being insensitive to what you have been through because it's difficult. But many of us will sit in this forever for 12 years, 38 years, 38 months, whatever it is. Because healing, when you heal, it brings out stuff you don't even want to visit.
That's right.
It brings out things that you have buried and that you don't want to relive again. So when I ask you, do you want to be healed? I really want you to take the time and think about it. Do you want to be healed? Because it's serious. You're going to see a version of yourself that you probably never imagined. You're going to maybe feel, because we're nervous of the unknown, the unfamiliar. And when you start to heal and you say yes, you're going to walk into the unfamiliar territory. You know what? I don't know what this healing is going to look like on me. Because when I started healing, I started dealing with the pressures of my childhood, feeling like I was not good enough. And I love my mother to death. Let's what stage in the room, right? What stage? I love her to death. Because I am who I am today because of her. But at the same time, and my son growing up might say some things, we can't do everything right? We are human. But let me tell you, growing up, my mom compared me to a lot of people because I was bad. But she compared me to a lot of my friends that I grew up with. You're not this person, you're not that person. Let me tell you, that stuff stuck with me. Because as my relationships went to hell or whatever, thank you God, he walked out, because I'll tell you about that. God was saving me from something. But anyway, so all that stuff just came up. I felt like I wasn't worthy. I didn't have the confidence. It looked like I was confident, but I didn't have the confidence. And that really killed me. And during this breakup, that pain, that's when my healing process started, because I had to address that childhood stuff. Not feeling good enough because he left. And maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I wasn't the right fit. Whatever it is. That's why I asked you, do you want to be healed? Because that's a serious conversation and it brings up some pain. And also, I just want to say that, we can get nervous and fearful, like I said, of what that healing might look. And during that time of me healing, I lost some friends.
Yeah.
I lost people because I wasn't the same Whitney. I couldn't be the same Whitney because the same Whitney kept going into these pitfalls. So you're going to lose some friends. You're going to lose those people who you thought was ride or die. Right, I hate ride or die. Ride or live. Let's change it. Ride or live. So, do I really want to be healed? Am I ready to confront the abandonment? Am I ready to confront the broken relationships? Am I ready to confront the rape? Am I ready to confront, not getting or being rejected from certain situations or certain people or certain groups? Am I ready to be healed? Because the thing is, we'll look ourselves in the mirror and some of the things that we might not even like about ourselves might come out. You start being aware of who you are. If I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't know me. I wouldn't know if I was needed to be healed. So that's just something to think about. Do I really want to be healed? And I think your answer might be yes, right? So without healing, there's no liberation. Without the breaking, there's no healing. Without the healing, like I said, there's no liberation. And I don't want you to allow the hurt and the pain to silence you. Because that's what the hurt and pain wants to do. It wants to silence you and make you stubborn. And when we are stubborn, that means we're not vocal and we don't hit the hurt head on. If you want to be liberated and free, we have to heal. We have to heal.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Oh, yeah, sure.
What do you mean by without the breaking?
Okay. Without the breaking. So, my relationship broke me in pieces. When I say breaking, God was taking, it's like God was doing heart surgery. He was doing surgery in my body. And he broke me down to the core because there were some things about me. I was a little bit I never thought I was selfish, but I was a little bit selfish. Yeah, I was. And then at times I would put certain people in front of certain things that shouldn't have been done. So the different things, as the breaking, as the pain was happening, he was breaking me, but he started making me aware of me. You know what I mean?
You're broken for the blessing.
I'm broken for the blessing. Twisted up for the blessing, right? So I was being processed. And you know how you feel like when something breaks, it's like tearing you inside, all hell is breaking loose. You know, everything, your money ain't right, your relationship is not right. So the breaking is everything that is trying to kill you. But we need that in order for us to be aware of who we are, because some of us don't even know who we are.
That's right. That's right.
And the pain will reveal some of the things, but then the healing will reveal what we should be or what we should become. So that's what I mean by the break-in. So identifying the triggers, right? I didn't realize the pain was a way to heal. The pain makes us aware that we're still hurt. If we don't have pain, then I wouldn't know I was hurt in the first place, or if I didn't know these things were still bothering me. So I have some triggers, and we need to identify those things that provoke us of the pain, and for us to help us to identify, is hurt still lingering there? Does hurt still live here? So I want you to think about, what is still causing me pain? What are some of the things that are still causing me pain? What is allowing me to enter into relationships that are not transforming me and bearing fruit? Because when we're not healed, we enter into things, we invest our time and money into things that do not have anything to do with our purpose, our destiny, and which makes us stay in this parking lot and makes us complacent. Why am I attracting the things that my heart does not desire? If I'm attracting things that's not making me feel good, that's not transforming, because everything might not make us feel good. It might make us look at a self-assessment, which is good, right? Because we all have to self-assess ourselves. But if I am not changing because of this person that's in my life, then I need to self-assess that. Why am I attracting those things? That means something is still here in me that I need to address. Because remember, it's all energy. Whatever energy that's in you, you're giving off. It's all over you. People can see it. And let's talk about, we got any men in here? Yeah, we do, right?
You're not really here.
You're not listening though.
Right.
So just think about it. It's like, men can see when somebody's vulnerable.
Come on.
They can see hurt, pain, and all that stuff, right? They can see it. Oh no, what you say? Go ahead, do it. So, they can see it. Just like men can see it, women can see it, right? And then some people will take advantage of that. So we gotta be mindful, energy is everything, and if you're not healed, you're gonna attract things that are broken. You're not gonna even realize you might be attracting it, because sometimes it feels so good in the beginning. That's the enemy, the way he want to trick you. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy, right? But it might feel so good. But then at the same time, it's like, oh, dang, I need to go back. I need to revisit some things. I need to revisit what's inside me, so I'm not attracting these things anymore. I want to be healed. Why do I feel, okay, am I carrying the same patterns into new situations? If you're still doing the same thing and getting the same results, is what? Insanity. It's insanity, right? Yeah. We got to change our patterns. And I'll be transparent. See, the enemy knows how to get me, and God knows where to test me. It's so crazy. It comes to these relationships. I'm always attacked in relationships, whether it's with females or males. That's that and finances. That's where everything else, I'm good, right? But those are the two areas that God keeps testing me, and the enemy keeps trying to break me and kill me in. And with relationships, I was doing the same thing in my relationships. Like, for example, I love my friends. Like, I got a group of friends, and they like they probably say they my boyfriends, right? And nobody can come in front of my friends. You know, you got your family, but I got this core group. Now, in my relationships, I always wanted my friends, if they want to do something, okay, I'm gonna do it. Honey, I'll do X, Y, and Z or whatever. You know, I would put my friends first in certain things, because I'm like, my friends are always gonna be there, right? But I did that in most of all my relationships, and I had to realize, like, you can't do that. You have to change it. You got to change some patterns, because you're going to keep ending up in certain situations if you keep putting those people first. If they're your friends, they're going to understand. So we got to change our patterns. Am I carrying the same patterns into new situations? That's also how to identify one of the triggers. Why do I feel like I can't be by myself? Most of us always feel like we're lonely, right? You gotta be good with you. You're not alone. You got you. I know that sounds crazy. I know we want a warm body to go to the movies with, put our, our head on his shoulder, whatever the case is. I know you. I want that too. But God's like, first of all, you're gonna have to make me first. I'm your man. Until listen, I hated that when somebody said, Jesus gotta be your husband first. I said, I don't want to be my husband. I want somebody here now. You know what I mean? I want to kiss him and all, but I don't want to see him right now. So, but at the same time, it's like, God for real really wants to be the author and the finisher of your life. He want to know how you're going to treat me. You know what I mean? How you're going to treat me, how you're going to be intimate with me. If I know you know how to care about me, then I can reward you, because I know you're going to be able to steward properly over who I send to you. So the thing is that I'm never alone. I have myself, you have yourself, we have ourselves. We got to spend time with ourselves, get to know who we are. Like I said, most of us don't know who we are. And then I'm able to love somebody else. But I have to be comfortable with me. Because no matter what happens, we can't control certain things. We can't control love, even though we think about controlling love. We can't control career. Let me tell you, it's supernatural power. It's a supernatural being. Even if you don't, whoever you call God, it's supernatural. He controls certain things, and some of the things we just can't control. So why not just say, all right, I surrender. I will surrender everything to you. Every parts of my life, I surrender to you. I need to give you full control, because the promise is all the great things that God has promised us. He got to prepare us, and we got to be processed for that promise. Okay? So you're not by yourself. And why do I feel alone? I already covered that. We're never alone. You got your sisters, you got people you can call. If you don't have any friends, I'll be your friend. I'll be your friend. So I want us to get into a point where we are, we're comfortable with who we are. Like Nina Simone said, I'm so completely myself that I'm good with me. So this is how we identify those triggers. If we need to find out or see if we're still suffering or need healing. And healing is so broad, because it's broad, but I wanted to bring this to you guys because I want us to really see if it's something that we even want to do. But we need to actually start there before we can start anything else. So with healing, right, after we say yes to healing and no, it comes with a responsibility. You have to participate in your healing. We all have to participate in our healing. The connections, who you are connected to, that matters. Right? Who you are connected to. You can't do it by yourself. You need God. The people, and ask yourself this question, are the people around me conducive to my healing process? Are they keeping me here where I don't want to be? Are they pulling me back and reminding me of who I used to be? Are they helping me move forward? Are they a part of my transformation process? Are they a part of my healing process? And you can pray to God and ask God, God, remove those people who are not supposed to be around in my life. You remove them. That's why I said, are you ready to be healed? Because you need to ask yourself that question. Because if you ask God to remove those people, He will. But then the great thing about God is that when you ask Him to add who He needs to add, He does that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Priscilla was there Priscilla's always been there. But this particular time, when I was about to take my life, it was like almost a whole year. Right? Every single day on the phone, I thought I couldn't breathe. I swear I thought I was going to die. You could not tell me I'll be here today like cheesing. So all my friends who I was connected to, they were a part of my healing process. They told me what I didn't want to hear. They told me the truth. You can't be scared of knowing the truth. Because people see things, people that love you are going to tell you the truth. Because they see things about you that might be killing you. So who you are connected to is key to your healing process. The next one, changing your language. We know the scripture, I don't know if you know. What's Reverend down? Life and death is in the power of the tongue.
That's right.
I had to speak my way through. Because during that breakup, God forced me to deal with the rape, to deal with the pressure of my parents. Also, someone saying to me that, I don't think your mother prepared you for your next husband. Ooh. Yeah, somebody I was real close with. Still I'm close with today. But you know what I did? I said, I cried about it, and I said, oh, you worthy, da da da. But then I said, oh, she said next husband. That's, I know I will have a next husband. You see, so I had to change that language because we can't internalize everything that everybody says, even with the people that we love us, right? But life and death is in the power of the tongue. What you say, what you speak is key in your healing process. I'm telling you, it can keep you there or it can help you move forward. So changing your language. We already talked about changing of your parent patterns, experiencing the opposite. Taking risks, not allowing fear to stop you. A lot of us in our pain, or even in the healing process, we don't want to take different risks, do different things that make us better. Therapy helps, right? You might not be used to speaking to a therapist, or might think that we're crazy, but therapy helps. Just trying different things, taking those risks. Knowing it's a process, you can't rush the stages of the healing process. It's stages to it. So you can't get discouraged about it's not working or it's taking too long. It takes time to manifest, and you have to applaud yourself for the process, because the process and the journey is very difficult. And just remember that it's a process. God got me. I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to get there. But just being gentle with yourselves. You know what I mean? It's a level, different stages. And being aware of you. Okay, I know I can't hang around you because you do this and I'm trying to get away from it. Because let me put this down. Because the pain makes us aware that we need the healing, but it also makes us aware of ourselves. And in that healing process, you're going to make sure that you surround yourself and you invest yourself with the right energy. So I know me. So I know if you are doing something that is not conducive to the process, I can't mess with you. There's no hard feelings, but I'm on this journey. It's a process. I'm aware of myself. I'm able to know that. And that's what the healing process does for us. So that's the responsibility. And don't check out if you don't see, like I said, if you don't see the journey happening fast enough. And the benefits of a healed woman, you see you walk in power, you are free. Freedom is yours. All that hurt and pain didn't do nothing but made you stronger. I know it sounds crazy, but it does. It makes us different. It makes us see us at a different level. And you're able to relate. So that freedom is no joke. When you're completely good with who you are, it's the prison walls, you just break through the prison. And then people can see that on you. So that's freedom to me is just like
best feeling.
It's the best feeling. It's like me jumping in the ocean. You walk in authority. You're not ashamed of your story. Talk about that. and your investments are healthy and they're fruitful. So I'm not doing anything that's gonna cause me pain. I'm only gonna be around people who make me feel good, who are doing something, who are on their way of transforming too, because I can't be transforming and you ain't transforming with me. What are we doing here? And so we gotta make sure we evaluate our circles, right? So what I want us to do with this, standing in the gap for a sister. Now, I know that we all have our hurt and our pains here, right? Some of us are not able to